Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the weekly project meeting. It is March 30th, our last meeting of March. Another all-remote meeting coming to you from live at an undisclosed location in the Santa Cruz Mountains. We have a great set of updates coming to you from across the Mozilla Project. We open this week with Friends of Mozilla. And we've got a couple of good friend nominations. The first is coming from me. I would like to recognize that tomorrow is the 22nd anniversary of the open sourcing of the Netscape Communicator code base and the creation of Mozilla.org. I want to thank the thousands of people who have helped Mozilla throughout the decades. Next up, a shout out to our tech speakers and longtime Mozillians Yuli, Miguel, and Guillermo for their feedback in Spanish localization. Muchas gracias for being there. And finally, a shout out to Craig Cook for always being there for all the Mozilla blogs for questions and support. Thank you, Craig. Thank you to our friends of Mozilla this week. With that, we move to events. And it doesn't look like we have anything scheduled for this week in events. That makes sense with this time of COVID-19 and isolating ourselves. But if you check out the wiki, there is a list of later events and available tickets. And this includes free tickets from the Mozilla DevRel team to upcoming events. Also in this list will be updates to these events, which are planned, which are postponed, and which are canceled as a result of COVID. So do check out that list when you get an opportunity. And with that, we move to the main section of our meeting for today with our project updates. And the first project update we have coming to you from Jared Wine is the weekly Firefox update. Take it away, Jared.
Thanks, Asa. I'm joined today by my son, Elijah, and he is 7 months old. He is one Firefox release from 7 months ago. Firefox 74 is our latest stable release. Firefox 75 is in the beta channel, and it goes to our stable release audience a week from tomorrow. This is release candidate week. Firefox 76 is in the nightly channel. Over the last week, there have been about 350 bugs resolved as fixed, including these notable changes. Firefox Lockwise on desktop Firefox, also known as About Logins, will now alert users to passwords that are shared with an account that was in a known breach. This feature is currently disabled by default. Set signon.management.page.vulnerablepasswords.enable to true and about config to enable it, and please send us your feedback through Bugzilla or other ways. Machine learning is now being used to look at field labels and attributes to determine new password field types so we can suggest strong passwords in more places. The Gecko Profiler saw some improvements. The Profiler add-on is now removed and users are migrated to the Profiler pop-up. The Profiler menu button enabling workflow has been improved, and there is now a Profiler preset for media troubleshooting. The new About Welcome experience has been enabled by default. Firefox now supports the Area 1.2 code role. Thank you for all of your contributions to Firefox, and we continue to make it better every week. Thanks a lot, and I'll pass it off to Asa.
Thank you, Jared. Our next update comes to us from Josh Matthews with the Emerging Technologies Weekly Update. Josh?
Hello, everyone. I've got 3 for you today. The biggest news from the Emerging Technologies organization right now is that we wrapped up our very first online conference experience. This was the IEEE VR conference. It was our first time running sort of an online conference experience for a significant portion of conference attendees and not just a small subset of like really keen cutting edge users. So this was, we were running it based on our Hubs Cloud Enterprise service that we're starting to make available. And this was a deployment that hosted everything from viewing parties to speakers to sessions for birds of a feather, social hours and poster sessions, as well as rooms specifically for sponsors. And so we noticed that traffic increased significantly as a result of these offerings, with an approximate almost 5 times increase in the amount of users and rooms over that period compared to the end of February. And we also had 1,800 new account signups during the week of the conference. So we consider this a big success, and it sounds like attendees were really enthusiastic about the experience as well. So that's great. For developers, For developers who are interested in our speech recognition programs, deep speech in particular, you might be interested to find out that our speech-to-text engine has just released a new way of getting results, where not only do you get what deep speech thinks that the text is of what someone has said, but they also return multiple results, which are ordered from most confident to least confident. So developers of making use of this service can potentially indicate this amount of confidence that they end up showing the user in the end user interface. So that's a neat new result that's available. And finally, like Jared mentioned, Firefox 74 was just released, and there is a new blog post on hacksmozilla.org, which is all about the new features and security enhancements there. Additionally, we're now going to be translating all new Hacks blog posts into multiple languages going forwards. And this is the first post that has received that treatment. So that's looking good. And finally, for the DevRel team, Jen Simmons' presentation from an event apart, which is a conference on designing intrinsic layouts, has now become available on YouTube. So this is a masterclass in designing certain kinds of CSS layouts to better leverage the art of graphic design. So get on that if that's an area of your interest. And that's all from ET this week.
Thank you, Josh. Some exciting updates. Very, very enthusiastic response to hubs there. And I'm super thrilled to see that went off well. Alex, if you could reload the agenda and scroll back up to the event section, we've got some late breaking news on the calendar. And that is that on Wednesday, April 1st, that's this Wednesday, the Homebrew Website Club is meeting. The Homebrew Website Club is a growing worldwide network of now 100% online weekly meetups due to COVID-19 for everyone who wants to take back their web experience from social media silos and own their online identities, content, and interactions. We have locally organized Homebrew Website Club meetings in Nottingham, Europe, London, and West Coast. See the wiki agenda for links with times and more information about how you can join the Homebrew Website Club in its now 100% online weekly meetings. And with that, we have come to the end of our content for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Monday, same time, same place. Until then, stay safe, stay home, and keep on rocking the free web.